What is this, man? What is this thing, dude? Oh my god, you bought another 316, man. Yeah, so I decided to go with the reshell route because that silver shell is just destroyed. So I got a black coupe like I wanted to from the beginning. This, you might, because it's obviously going to be in the background, is a green Touring, right? 328. So you might, think, oh my god, you got a 328 with a fucking manual gearbox and you're gonna put the 328 engine in the 316. Oh my god, that's gonna be such a sick car. Yeah, well, I was gonna do that, but didn't work out, let's say. So pretty much, that's what I'm doing. I'm reshelling it, but before I put the 2.0 back in the black car, I'm gonna redo the suspension fully. Like, I'm actually properly gonna just do everything. I'm gonna go over exactly what I'm doing to it eventually. What the Vest is driving the 2.0? What? But yeah, so about the Corsa, right? So yeah, this is the Corsa. This is its resting place until I scrap it, because I think the head gasket on it went. It was mixing coolant and fuel, which is fucked, so fuck that. So that Corsa is gone. Like, it's fucked. I bought it fucked, so whatever, my mistake. Money in the bin, because scrap money is probably going to be like 150 quid, which is nothing. But I got a new daily, all right? This one hopefully lasts longer than a month. We've got ourselves a 1.4, the year 2000 Polo. Why has Vess got the fucking 2.0? I don't know what he's doing. He's driving it around, making sure the diff isn't. Nice car, dude. Alright, another day, another dawn. Alright? We got the foxes. If anyone follows my Instagram, our garden is full of fucking foxes. I mean, it looks like an overgrown jungle, so that makes sense. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna go over exactly what I'm gonna do to the black car. This time around, yeah, it's gonna be literally nothing like the silver car in terms of the way I approach it. The silver car was a daily drifter, like, missile car, right? Which, fair enough. I knew from the beginning that the body of it wasn't immaculate, but I just kind of destroyed that car. At the moment, the reason I'm not driving it, I don't know if I went over it. See these foxes, bro? They don't even look like foxes, man. They look like some broken. They look like fucked up. They look like they carry like 15 diseases. I kind of don't want to be out here. Yeah, I don't know, whatever. The reason I'm not driving the silver car, I don't know if I went over it in a different video. The front end, all the suspension is like bent and just disgusting and stupid. The rear end, the rear shocks went through the shock towers because they just like were cracked and shitty. So yeah, that's basically just all of the suspension is like unusable and just broken. Okay, I don't want that. So what I'm gonna do with the black car is, before I even put an engine in it, all of the subframes and suspension, everything is coming off completely. So we're gonna drop the front. Obviously we're gonna take the 1.6 out. So we're taking out the 1.6, we're taking out everything. We're literally just gonna leave the fuel system and brake system in. I don't wanna mess with that. I wanna leave all of that, all of the lines and stuff. I wanna leave them. So we're taking off the front subframe, we're taking off the steering rack, we're taking off everything. We're not taking off the steering column, but we might take off half of it. So pretty much everything is getting polybushed. So everywhere a polybush can go is going. Things like the subframe mounts, where they go into the chassis and all the bushes on there, those are getting changed out to polybushes. I'm also not going to polybush the diff ears and the front diff mount, the infamous front diff mount where I keep breaking the bolt. Those three mounting points for the diff are staying stock, okay, stock whatever rubber bushings, because I want them to be the ones that take the impact from all the clutch kicks and stuff like that. But obviously trailing arms are getting poly bushed, like the anti-roll bar bushes that hold it to the whatever, to the clip where it clips in and you have to take it off to remove the diff. Those like C-shaped ones, they getting poly bushed. And the drop links, I'm just probably gonna get new drop links and new bolts and stuff because it's probably all rusty. But those are getting poly bushed as well. And yeah, so realistically it's not that much work, but I don't know, to me dropping a rear subframe is kind of long. But Vess was like, stop being a pussy, we're dropping the rear subframe. If we're doing poly bush, we're doing it properly. This car is a one lady owner. I don't know if I mentioned this, but it's literally a one lady owner since 1995. It has 112,000 miles on it, so it's basically like immaculate underneath, except the suspension. It's all kind of like surface rusty and the bolts look kind of shitty, so I don't like it. So everything's coming off, and whatever I'm not replacing for new stuff is getting sanded down and repainted. So the underneath of the car is gonna shine, okay? The underneath of the car is gonna be so clean, it's gonna make light, okay? So that is my goal with that. And what I'm gonna do as well for the interior, for the interior, even though the current interior that's in there is like super clean, is the stock sort of SE like cloth interior, which to me is like, all right, cool, but like the interior in my silver car is like so much sexier. It's like some velour, like velvet. It's nice, okay? So I'm just gonna take the interior out of the silver car and put it in the black car, which you might be thinking, that's dumb. You're building like a drift car. Why are you even putting interior in it? Because I don't want it to be like a race car, like, oh, fucking drift car. I want it to be able to drift, but I want it to be a nice, like, street car. I want it to be kind of like a mix between a show car and a straight drift car. I don't know how to explain it. I want it to look nice. I want it to be really clean, and I'm gonna not drive it every day like I did the silver one. Yeah, I don't know. I still don't know exactly the purpose of it, because I want to take it to track days and stuff, but I don't want to turn it into a like a beta car, you know? I want it to stay nice. For now, that's the plans for what I'm doing. I'm gonna put an angle kit on it. When I say angle kit, it's kind of like, it is basically an angle kit. Yeah, I'm gonna put the purple tag steering rack, which is gonna be quicker. And realistically, what I need to do now is figure out my tie and track rod setup, like the inner and outer, like what I'm gonna do for lengths, if I'm gonna do rack spacers, or if I'm gonna get E90 inners, or all that stuff. I don't know. I'm gonna do HSD coilovers, and I've also ordered a solid steering column bushing. I don't know if you guys, the sun has just decided to come out and it's super bright. It's nice though, I like the sun. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know, but there's a bushing in the middle of the steering column of these cars, and usually that is, when it's old, it's just like rubbery and disgusting. So I'm gonna literally take that off and put a solid like aluminium machined bush. It's not even a bush anymore, it's just a solid piece, so that there's no play in the steering rack at all. Because I don't know if you guys have ever played with the steering of one of these cars. You just grab it and you tug it slightly, and like you turn the wheel, but then it just bounces right back up, which is stupid. And I think for me, I imagine that is that bushing just being super squishy and soft, and like not, you just completely taking out like 50% of the response in your steering. So the steering is going to be incredibly like precise in that car, and the car is just going to be really stiff, and like it's going to have sucked the ground, like, you know. Because I don't know, I rode in a friend's, I don't know if I've said this in video, but I rode in a friend's 328 IS, like black on black from factory, and his is like fully drift street built, like fully poly bush, track ready, except a roll cage, and like it has full interior. So pretty much I'm kind of trying to do something similar, but either way, yeah, his was fully poly bushed with an angle kit and like all the steering stuff fixed. And his car, like, I rode in the passenger seat, I never drove it, but I could tell the car was like super responsive and like just precise. That's what I'm trying to do with mine. That's really the plans for it. Obviously I was gonna put the 2.8 in it, but I don't have that as an option anymore. Basically the reason that green Touring's drivetrain isn't going in my black car is because pretty much Vassal got it. Like, I was meant to get it, but then he got it before me, and it was kind of like this long story. I don't really want to go into details. Just communication was off, and like misunderstanding, right, of who's gonna buy it, kind of thing. So yeah, that's why he got it, and now that 2.8 is in his silver coupe, but it's running like junk because it was sitting for 4 years. So he has to change like every single sensor on it, which is long. And I'm glad I didn't have to do that, to be completely honest. But realistically, everything else is alright, except he didn't change out the rear end. So he drifted it. I was actually with him. He went to drift it with the small case rear end with his 345 welded diff and the small case shafts. And he literally, the third clutch kick he did, he just exploded the drive shaft. I'm guessing next thing he's doing is putting the fucking mid-case rear end from that Touring into his car. What I'm doing is I'm still putting the 2.0 in the black car, unless I find some stupid deal again, which I probably won't, because it's really rare to find deals on 328s like that. Yeah, and I kind of want to get a new gearbox. I kind of want to upgrade the drivetrain slightly, but I think for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to leave small case rear end, and I'm just going to use the Get Rag 250G, I think is the gearbox, because realistically I'm going to have 2 spare gearboxes, and I'm going to have a spare diff out of my car, and realistically I might even have 2 spare diffs if Vassal gives me his small case. I feel like I want to keep everything small case because I'm going to have so many spares end of the day. I might look for a 444 diff like out of an automatic, because I just want it to be like super rowdy, and I might get the ECU remat and stuff like that later down the line. But to be honest, for the drivetrain, I just want to keep it really stock and like easy to get parts for, and like less stuff breaking, even though welded diff basically destroys the drivetrain. Yeah, that's pretty much really what's up with the black car. Yeah, pretty much. Oh yeah, let's talk about the fucking Corsa. The Corsa, I drove it for a month, and that misfire that was originally a misfire, it might have just been originally just a normal misfire, but it kind of developed into just some dumb shit. I'm pretty sure the head gasket went. Usually I know head gaskets go between cylinders and like you start mixing oil and coolant, but for me it was mixing fuel and coolant, because you would see just like it just smelled like fuel. I don't know, it was stupid, and the water was going anywhere. It was just, that car is just broken. Yeah, fuck that car. It's basically gonna get scrapped. I just need to like phone up to like scrap companies and get it taken away. Because so I got a Polo, it's a 1.4, it's got like 80,000 miles, which end of the day doesn't matter. And yeah, so far it's running good. The gearbox is making a bit of a weird bearing noise. It might be the release bearing, it might be the actual bearing inside, I don't know, whatever. I'm not gonna drive that thing like a dickhead. Not that I drove the Corsa like a dickhead, but you know, I'm gonna be nice on it. I'm not gonna like rev match 4th to 2nd and all that shit, which I was doing with the Corsa, but then I guess the Corsa was whatever. I hope the Polo lasts, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know if this is gonna be the end of the video. If it is, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later with more E36 stuff. If it isn't, then I'll see you in 1 second.